This is fun. Hello everybody. We got two cameras going. I'm here with Vincent Byfield. We're gonna
Cheers,
do this
man.
today. Cheers.
Okay.
Oh no, McDonald's.
Yeah, it's Mickey D's this time.
We had a
folks.
hard time, folks, because what do? Starbucks, there's issues there for the public. You go to Tim Hortons, that's you're done. E&W, that's a big no-no in Alberta. I learned that years ago. But yeah.
Yeah, because of Alberta beef.
Yeah,
right?
Alberta
Not
beef.
using Alberta beef. And
Boy.
nowadays we've got all that vegan stuff going on, right? So
hopefully nobody gets offended by it.
well, there's going to be somebody. You're always going to offend somebody. You know, I was reading up on Ernest Manning, and Preston wrote in the biography of his dad that when he was growing up, they had a housekeeper who was watching after the kids, and the housekeeper was instructed to always vet the newspaper before the kids saw it, and to clip out any bad stuff about their dad, right?
Wow.
And so he said sometimes when he came to the breakfast table, the newspaper looked like confetti because there was almost nothing left.
You know, and maybe parents should take more active role these days, because I'll tell you, a lot of the media is just scary. It's so skewed for the government.
Yeah.
I feel that way.
Gee, I wonder why that would be, Dave. You know, $660 million, that's a lot of money to lose.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. $10,000 a story. That's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, by the way, that's our money.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Just so you know, right? You're paying to be told.
You're paying to be lied to.
And what to think, right? So it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. The faster we kick. Where are you on CBC? I know this is not the...
CBC's been god-awful to me, Vince. I've had nothing but...
Well, that means you must be doing the right thing, Dave.
Well, CBC and CTV are problematic, and here's what people need to know for politicians or people in general. What happens is there's a pile of stories about me, and a lot of negative, but there were some good ones, but they put them down in archives. So unless you, the people, know...
Where to look,
meaning you have to know the title of the story.
Yeah.
Dave Bjorkman goes blind, has cattle, because CBC actually wrote some nice stories about me. Truths. And
this is nothing new. They've always, even in the days of
archived.
newspapers, if it was a story and they had to run it, but they didn't like it, well, it would wind up on page 95, right?
Exactly.
It was that sort of thing. It's always new.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So I got, who have I got? Mark Daines. I got an MP.
Oh, there you go.
And who else? I think it's Mark. Maybe I'm mixing you up with somebody else, Mark. And I got Eldon. Eldon, I know we still have to talk. Larry. Hi, Larry. Hi, Curtis.
Oh, there's Larry. I know Larry, too.
Do you?
Yeah, I know Larry very well.
We should do introductions just in case people don't know.
I got Ian. We got East Coast here. We got Vivian.
Oh, East Coasters.
Scroll down there, maybe. Just grab it.
All right. What do we got?
We got Vivian, Ian. Go the other way. Way. Curtis Clapp.
Curtis Clapp.
Here.
And I've got Curtis Bowl. He's an Edmontonian?
Yeah, he's an Edmontonian.
Right. Awesome. All right, so introductions. I'm pretty sure everybody knows everybody, but just to be safe, because you never know who's going to be watching.
Actually, not a lot of people online are going to know Vince. Unless they're from Alberta.
And there's going to be people who may not know you, Dave.
Yeah.
It's possible. You know, he's such an entertaining character. My dad loved this guy, and because when they first met, you know. I'm going to bring up your occupation because it's just so hilarious. This guy, first of all, it was the Alberta Independence Party? Is that right? Yeah, so you started it, right?
Yeah,
from the ground up?
Ground up. And we
That's a shitload of work, right?
Yeah, we got a majority cast in the election. We got kicked out of the debates, but I actually defeated the Liberals. We had a much larger party than the Liberals. And at the time,
this is the Alberta Liberals.
Alberta Liberals.
Yeah, so but that's not saying much.
But still, they got to do the provincial debates, and I didn't. Con was not an elected MP.
Right.
And also, they had a lower cast of MLAs than we did by quite a bit.
Yeah.
They had 51, we had 67, and they wouldn't let me debate, saying I wasn't elected.
You mean you had 61 candidates ready to run? Is that what you-
67, 63 officially
67.
after
Okay.
we lost a few in the process, but 63 officially ran, and Con for the Alberta Liberals only had 51.
And he got in the debates and you didn't.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And he wasn't elected
and
either.
who was running the debate?
That was CTV, CBC.
Well, it's almost the same thing.
Global News, all of them.
Right.
It was a conglomerate of
Yeah.
corporate media,
Yeah. So,
registered corporate media.
so Alberta Independence Party got that going. Still going, right? It's under who now?
Yeah, ID. Sharon McLeese, the
right.
millionaire I don't like.
She's a millionaire?
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a... She got some fraud charges back in the day, and she ate that. She did get the criminal side. But
I don't want to do dirty laundry.
No, we're not. Sorry.
All right. So now he went on to do other things, but he did all these things, and his trade, the way he pays the bills, is you're a welder, right?
Yeah.
And since he's gotten really interested on all the whole legal and constitutional side of things, and you actually took a course through Harvard, didn't it? Was it Harvard?
Oh, no, the ICC, International Criminal Court,
Okay.
but I have been through all the major world academic institutions in the last 3 years since the election. I have Canada's greatest constitutional mind, Richard Albert, actually messaged me. He's in Ottawa right now visiting his mother.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get him in a call.
I could
Yeah.
definitely
We'll do that.
arrange that.
Because so the topic of the day, folks, is one of the topics. We'll talk about all sorts of things if you want, but what I was thinking is we first bring up the Constitution. So you know that Danielle Smith endorsed the idea that's been promoted by the Free Alberta Strategy, Rob Anderson's Alberta Institute, of this Alberta Sovereignty Act. And the idea being that if the federal government introduces any legislation that Alberta government deems to be in violation of the interests of Albertans, then they would exercise the Alberta Sovereignty Act and basically refuse to do whatever it is the federal government is asking them to do that they have a problem with. This has been already admitted by Rob Anderson himself and Barry Cooper, two of the guys who created it, to be unconstitutional in terms of a federal constitution, the Canadian Constitution. So some people are saying, rather than do that, why not just finally get an Alberta provincial constitution that would incorporate things like that and other things? So what are your thoughts, Dave?
Well, folks, as I've been screaming out for more than a year full time, I went across Canada on this, is I want the federal constitutionalism. You need a prime minister to do that. But let's say we can't get that. What we can do, what is mandated since 1867, that is constitutional, folks, is a provincial constitution,
Right.
a provincial constitution act enacted by any prime minister, and premier, and no prime minister can refuse that. That is constitutional.
Right, but what if something is inside the Alberta Constitution that the feds have a problem with? What if they determine, that's violating? Because I'm sure that the federal constitution is allowing provincial constitutions, but it must say somewhere
It does.
that anything inside that provincial constitution cannot go against the Canadian.
And
what's
that's correct, folks. But here's the sweet part about it. It's half the equation, but it's the massive, most important half. This is all of your civil rights. Folks, that's all your human rights. That's not federal privy. We don't have any. That's why people complain, why isn't the charter enforced? It can't be enforced because civil and human rights, when it comes to that, are provincial powers that are to be written in a provincial constitution. Go to section 92 of your federal constitution. It will tell you everything that you can provincially mandate. They're huge. They're huge. They're the hugest things available to all Canadians, all First Peoples. Your civil and human rights. That's one. Number two, your property rights. There are no property rights in Canada. The Liberals just bragged about it. The ministry just bragged about it. Trudeau's top ministry.
Are you talking about in the future you will own nothing and be happy, or something else?
And that and more. They said, listen, you guys have no rights to any property, none whatsoever. And they were bragging about that. This is the federal minister. I can bring it out for you.
Which minister again?
I gotta look.
All right, we'll find it. We'll add it to the comments.
I will. Yeah. And you know what, folks? He bragged about that, and it's true for the federal government. But it is privy to only provinces themselves to cement, and no federal government can step on that. You can all have a tremendous amount in property rights. To give you an example, Russia and USA have property rights cemented constitutionally in their states and in their federal or their provincial obelisks. They don't call them provinces, they call them regions in Russia, but there's 84 of them. They all have their property rights for every citizen. You can buy land in Siberia. USA, you can buy and own your land. The First Peoples have their property rights. Resource rights are provincial, not federal.
This is one for David Saku, who said earlier today, how many of you are now thinking you'd rather live in Russia? You know, this is because of the Tamara Lich thing. So I'm sure everybody on the streams know that Tamara Lich has been arrested for violating the conditions of her parole. I think Rebel Media's got a Facebook signature petition count going. Within hours, it was at 19,000. So please go there. I think it's on the Battle for Alberta Facebook group page. Sign up. Try to make that thing go sky high. We really have to try and stop this sort of thing happening. Tamara Lich is I understand that she may have breached the conditions. I get that, but the conditions were ridiculous for a democracy, curtailing a person's freedom of speech. Anyway, carry on.
This is the problem. Section 91 gives criminal to the federal. There's nothing any of us can do about. We'll never win it unless we get federal redesign. But
well, there's ways to federally redesign.
Well,
we'll get into that.
You guys, labor is provincial privy in this country. There's still no cemented labor laws, which are also freedom of association that you do read in your charter, to cement that. Religiously, labor. So these are left and right shared issues. They really are. And we're divided on them, but they're privy of the provincial government. It's outlined in Section 92. Huge. Your civil rights, your civil human rights.
Okay.
Religion, labor. Just a couple more huge ones. Go. Education, and absolutely healthcare. These are just the major ones, folks. There's a whole list in Section 92 that the federal government can't stop any province from cementing in the highest law of the province and the country, the provincial constitutional act that a province does. No premier wants to do it. I've never met any candidate who wants to do it. I have Richard Albert, who I am going to submit to come out live. I'll ask him. He's in Ottawa right now with his...
Sorry,
no, it's okay.
blocking?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, all right.
With his mother right now, but I bet you I can get him to do this live. He's already done a presentation on provincial. Richard Albert. He did Canadian constitutionalism for the province. Cemented this. When I went to share it.
This province,
all provinces.
Okay.
But Alberta will do it. And you know what? He gave me the legal path to do that. I was tagged in it with all the Canadian media. I shared it with Albertans. When I brought it forward, I was immediately accused on all social media, reported for property theft, intellectual property theft. Richard never filed anything against me on property theft. You go on Twitter, you find I'm tagged with all Canadian media. He wanted me to include all of you, and many of my followers did watch this. They did participate, and you'll see the greatest legal living academic mind in constitutionalism, world renowned, Russia, USA.
Right on. Let's see if we can get him on.
We can get him on.
Okay. All right. So I'm seeing questions. That's why I was curious.
Go ahead.
So I want to look and see if we got any questions here.
Just scroll down. Yeah.
All right. I see a lot of people watching. All right. Here we have Ian Bachman. Was Was David Lamenti bragging about property rights?
Yes, it was David Lamenti. That's the minister. And these are
yeah.
council,
Thank you.
guys.
Right on. Thank you.
It was David Lamenti, and you guys, he clearly states publicly, if Albertans have missed this, you have no property rights, which is true, but it's a half lie. He knows you don't have any because there are no provincial constitutions since 1867 called for in section 58.
But Albertans could remedy that
in snap of a finger
with the
Jason Kenney
with
could
the
do it right
creation
now.
of a constitution.
Jason Kenney could do a convention right now,
right?
Even as he waits to do the leadership.
Funny, I didn't see that one in the 300 in his book of 300 promises. Yeah, I wonder why that wasn't there. Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask my guys here. What do we got here? So one thing Eldon's got here, which is Drew Barnes just put a call to the Kenney government to implement property rights as promised in their 2019 election platform. So it was in the Blue Book.
It is, but you can't get property rights without a provincial constitution.
Right.
Or
cart before the horse.
Every premier can come along and throw it away.
Yeah.
That's what you all have to understand. Right. That's why I'm not slamming Danielle Smith, but sovereignty is federal and it's given to the UK.
That raises a good question. So let's say a premier enacts an Alberta provincial constitution, which I understand there's only two provinces that have them yet, Quebec and British Columbia.
And they're not really constitutions.
Right, okay.
The crap. Alberta has a Bill of Rights.
So we can really beef ours up. Right. But here's the question for you. So Premier 1 enables the Constitution. New Premier doesn't like the Constitution. What happens?
You can, if you make it unamendable, it's unamendable or nearly unamendable. Just like the Canadian Constitution. If you ever talk to Richard Albert or anybody from every major academic institution,
how would that play out? So, for example, the federal Constitution, what is it again? It's 7 premiers, I believe.
Yeah.
So and that's hard. It's like it's herding cats, right? It's really hard to get 7 on board, right? So, but that's we don't have provinces to deal with that. So how would you set it up so it's nearly unamendable? How do you do that?
You would have to have each and every MLA, right?
Right.
87 ridings.
So you could set it up like 80% of MLAs.
Yeah, you could
something
say
like that. So you do it with the
constituencies, not the MLAs.
Ah, right.
Don't give the power to the MLAs.
Right on.
You take that away from the politicians. You make it the people's power.
Yeah.
So you have to get
so a referendum style, something like that.
Yeah, referendum. You could have three mechanisms. Right. But this is for Albertans to go through and decide that.
That would be a great discussion to be having.
For all Albertans.
Yeah.
It takes about 3 to 6 months at a cost of $60 million. And folks, it incorporates absolutely all the First Peoples nation within a nation, just for Alberta, at least in the majority of Crown land. That is Alberta's privy, Alberta's Crown land, because there's federal Crown.
So you're bringing up First Nation. So I want to ask you a few questions because it's a touchy topic for a lot of people, and so I want to just I know you've been doing research on the what's been happening in the past in Canada with the residential schools.
Yep.
My personal view on that is that it was wrong right from the get-go. That it was disrespecting the family unit.
Oh yes.
Big time, and I don't think that any government that you're violating God's law.
Yes.
When you do that, right?
God, the Creator.
Yeah. So never thought it was a good thing. Still don't think it's a good thing. I frankly think we're basically doing it right now as we speak with these GSA clubs. But we'll save that for another day, right? But I think we're going to see a lot of harm from that. There's going to be a lot of fallout from that, and governments will be accountable for that. And it's literally playing out right now in our lives.
You said a good point there. I just want to add to it. When Vince or any of us, and I call it the institutionalization, the government will be held liable. That's actually wrong. It's us, the low-life, degenerate, working Joe Janes. We're always held accountable. Whatever decisions the government does, we're held financially accountable. Notice how no one's ever charged with the most heinous of crimes or the worst decisions that are made. They're never accountable. We are financially for whatever decisions they make.
So a government can
against
do
us.
something that you don't agree with, but you're still accountable for it.
We're always liable. That's always been the way.
So the best thing you can do is make sure that the person who is in power representing you does not do the things that you don't agree with.
And to do that, you have to cement that in provincial constitutionalism,
Right.
Folks. And I just want to make this clear, Vince, real quick.
Yeah.
Is that this is the problem forever and a day of Canada? Zero accountability. We give all the power to this crown, which is a backdoor way of the politicians, basically doing whatever they want and never being held accountable. Your only true right is to elect your next dictator, basically your next liar who doesn't have to be accountable. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a good ruler, but most times we don't see any kind of accountability. We have to put it in the Constitution.
Dave didn't see my earlier conversation yesterday about something that it's one of my hobby horses. I call it the Regional Leaders Roundtable. It's the idea of having a little Senate within the party that can stop the Premier. But I get it, that the Premier ultimately can find ways around that if they so desire, because that's one of the problems. So you always have this trade-off between you need the Premier to have a certain amount of ability to act quickly, but at the same time you have to have some mechanism for a check and balance if they go off the rails, right?
USA has it in all the states,
right?
Except for maybe 2, but they all have elected state senates.
And that's, by the way, another thing that a constitution could implement. So if Alberta wanted its own actual Senate, and it doesn't have to be a bloated Senate, right? It can be like 5 people, right? It can, and they don't even have to be paid, right? If that's the issue, right?
You could do the treaty regions so that First People would like it too. No, you talk about it doesn't matter who takes it, but you could do all the treaty regions if you wanted, or north, south, east, west.
I want to leave
Central.
that sort of regionalization for the Senate for another discussion.
Sure.
Right? But the point is, now I'm losing my train of thought.
Right,
That's
We're
okay.
talking about Senate, Alberta Senate, and what it could do, what check and balances are you talking about?
But there was something else. I remember. So you were saying earlier that we really have to take very seriously who we elect. We can't just fluff it off and say, oh, he's the best of a bad lot. No, we really have to try our utmost to get the best candidate possible. Now, one of the things that I wanted to stress here, I'm sure you would agree with this, is that if you are an average Albertan and you are exercising your democratic duty only by showing up and voting whenever there's a provincial election, well, that's good. It's better than not showing up, for sure. But where are you when it comes to getting involved in party politics, being a member of a party?
Or design of platform,
because
policies.
people who do that, there's a lady called Fatine who's just across the province, and she pointed out that Justin Trudeau was technically elected with only 80,000. He became leader of Canada with only 80,000 votes. That's 1 in 500 Canadians. And the same applies provincially. Not quite as good, but my estimate is it's about 1 in 250. So that means that any person who's a member just of the UCP, this applies to all parties, but just in the UCP, that person technically has 250 times more influence than the average actual voter. That's the person who shows up and votes. The person who's a member of the party has 250 times more influence in choosing things like the next premier. So I'm saying all this to say, get involved, folks. Please pick your party. You can be more than one party. You can join more than one party.
No, some parties make rules or they don't let you. And you got to watch
if the
parties
UCP
can boot you out.
Okay, I'm getting tons of little lights.
What?
That's great.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right. I think it's your guys ready for a question here. So we got Glenn.
Scroll up maybe because they keep going.
Okay, all right. Okay, we got that. We asked that question already. Sorry, guys. How come, Dave, Trudeau so badly wants a seat in the UN? Can you explain? That would be great. Thanks. What are you talking about? The Security Council?
The Security Council.
Yeah, okay. right.
Folks, the Security Council is massive. It's where all the supply and value chains are too, and control of waters, oceans, all international law.
Right.
Every nation wants to be there. Every nation
Well,
they could afford it.
he got snubbed though, didn't
Yeah,
he?
they're finished. You guys, you can kiss Canada goodbye on the Security Council forever. It's already been nearly 30 years. We're never getting back anyway. We quit the International Court of Justice. We have a fake one. International Court of Justice. Go read 1994. Brian Mulroney and then Jean Chrétien's UN ambassador.
1994, is that a sequel to 1984? Like,
Well,
what do you mean,
yeah,
go read
it's that
1994?
bad. No, I mean...
What do you mean, go read 1994?
Go read 1994, registered in the UN. Canada's ambassador on quitting the International Court of Justice. Canada
What was
quit.
the reason?
Well, because South Africa got an imposed constitution, they were forced to become a democratic
So in
republic.
94, who was our prime minister at that
It was
time?
Jean Chrétien
Chrétien. So we can blame Chrétien for...
and Mulroney,
all right.
because there's two stages to this.
Okay.
Our criminal code, and that same ambassador, Brian Mulroney, had started the process in 85. This is where I know that CPC and Liberals are one and the same. It's always been the Liberal Conservatives and the Liberals. Those are the two founding parties of Canada. Crown sworn.
Still are.
And they still are.
Yeah.
They can call themselves progressive
Two
conservative.
sides of the same freaking coin.
Yeah. It's an easy way to say liberal conservative. Progressive conservative. Well, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Actually, we see it playing out in provincial
You do
politics
it.
as well. You know, I'm just going to give a plug here for the provincial UCP leadership. So they had a debate, Free Alberta Strategy, invited 7 of the 8 declared candidates, and not the one guy who is truly different, frankly, from all the others. And they gave the very reason they excluded him is because he never sat as an MLA. But it's very telling. There does seem to be this pressure. It's hard to explain, but it seems to happen on a regular basis. It's my turn for my guys.
I know. There's a couple questions that come in. I was going to tell you.
I know.
I hear you.
Actually, I'm not. What do we got?
That last one, man.
Is it? Well, that's. All right. So we got a general comment from Jerry Barber here. It says rights are given by God, not government. Governments only restrict your rights. Yeah. And Alberta Constitution embed. This is from Eldon. Alberta Constitution embed parental rights to decide education of their children.
That's funny he says that. Me and Vince actually talked about this.
Yeah.
Religion. Well, guess what, folks? The fundamental unit of society is the family.
Family unit.
And guess what? But since World War II, that is the basis of the UN. That is international binding law imposed by the Allies of World War II. That you're not to mess with the family unit. Parents have rights to all education. This is international binding law that Canada rejects. Even though they signed it, they breach it. Okay. That's what Canadians need to know.
Yeah.
This is serious stuff, you guys.
Yeah. Okay, shall we go to your guys?
Sure. I think
What do we
there's
got?
a couple. Scroll down after Ian. Keep going. Somebody did put some up there. Oh, Les Marks is there. He's an Alberta boy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hi,
good.
Mark.
I wanna
Les.
know
Hi,
that.
Les.
Les.
We got Curtis Clatt, Vivian.
Yeah,
Vivian
Catherine's
Treadwell.
there too. Is that
I didn't see
maybe
that.
keeps going up on you? There's somebody who.
Hi,
put
guys.
something
Hi, guys. Hi from Edmonton. You got quite a few going on here.
coming.
What's that say?
There was a question.
Okay. No. Oh, I see it. See, it just seems to. Oh, here we are. Oh, no. Got that one.
Let me see that for a second. I think it keeps every time you stop and touch again, it resets it to the top.
I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got Vivian Treadwell said, these
Hi,
pings.
Chad Moffat. Yeah, hi, Les.
Where is it? Like the song in the background, freedom.
Yeah.
Right
Must
on.
be creepy.
Must be crappy cell service there, or you're getting zapped, says Ian. Oh dear, you're getting.
should have put myself on the McDonald's Wi-Fi, maybe. But
No, because then they can totally cut you.
I don't care. I always get it.
I don't see it. I don't see.
Oh, well,
from it.
that's
All right,
okay.
let me see what I got here.
People are just chilling out listening.
Yeah, that's right on.
It's a morning, a nice, easy morning.
Okay, we got another one from Eldon here. The UCP does not restrict party memberships, multiple party memberships, just so you know.
Well, they booted me out.
Well, that's different. They can boot you, but it came to the floor to do so at the initial AGM
and was struck down. So you can have multiple, but it's tit for tat. The other party also has to allow multiple party members.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. Thank you, Eldon. All right, and I think that's it. We don't really have questions here. I got a guy from China on here.
Oh, nice. That's
This
good.
guy's name is Brett Fawcett.
Hey, Brett, do you speak multiple Cantonese or Mandarin? Because I could use that. I'm actually with China and the UN. I just used a woman. I paid her $100 here.
He's just coming back. He used to teach in China.
Goody.
Yeah, he taught history, I think, at an international school in Guangzhou, China.
I promise you, I can put you on a stage that no other Canadian's ever been on.
He's a really bright guy.
Yeah, well,
like,
we could use
bright
that
guy.
for help. Vincent,
but I should warn you.
Too. Me too. That's good. I'm always been a bit like quiet. Everybody does.
All right, what else we got here? Let's check your crew. All right, bring them on camera. What do we got? Bring them on camera. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot of people watching, but not a lot of comments. I don't see it.
It's some morning. You got something going on.
Do I?
Make children
Oh
from
yeah.
school.
Oh yeah. I gotta cancel that now. I think we're done here in terms of questions. So,
what else do you want to talk about? You want to talk about we got the UCP leadership.
That's all I want is for UCP leaders, if they're really serious, to go for provincial constitutionalism. Maybe, Vince, that's what we got to do, bring Richard forward. I did do an academic doctorate from Ukraine over the Russian invasion. I mean, I'm quiet now because it's such a hairy topic, I can bring Richard forward. That'll blow people away.
I want to tell my guys that I did reach out to Todd Lowen to see if he would be willing to sit down and have a chat with us. I frankly wanted to ask him the same 5 questions that I asked Bill Rock. And the loaded one is the last one, which is when, if ever, will you hold a referendum on independence? And I'm not hearing back. We were supposed to meet yesterday. He was in Edmonton. I was going to go see him just to ask him those 5 questions. It's a minute, shouldn't take very long.
No.
But wasn't able to fit me in. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it was just a bad day schedule-wise, or maybe he just doesn't want to answer that question.
They don't want to answer it. None of those candidates do, unfortunately.
Yeah, but Todd's pretty stand-up. That's why But this is pretty fundamental, guys. If he's not open to answering that question, really, I'm just going to lay it out. My old man said this back 20 years ago, which is the reason why Quebec got all that it got is not because it was demanding language rights. It came down to one thing and one thing only. They threatened to leave Canada. That was it. They didn't even leave Canada.
I know.
They just threatened to leave Canada, and they got everything they wanted, right? And Dad said until Alberta and Albertans are willing to look at all the options on the table, and that means a renewed Canada that they can live with, going sovereign or independent, or becoming a U.S. state. He says until we look at all those 3 options and mean it, and by mean it he means actually consider and hold a referendum on independence, then we're never going to get anything. Nobody outside of Alberta is going to take us seriously at all. And seven of the eight candidates won't even talk about that. This in the UCP leadership. That should tell us a lot. I want to be wrong. I want to hear from Danielle Smith. I want to hear from Brian Jean. I want to hear from Todd Lowen.
Can I say a point here? And I did the legal path to independence. I did that in 2019.
Yeah.
So if anyone's been going through independence, And there's a lot of experts who just came to see me right here
Yeah.
at the mall, and lots of American academics came to see me, take me on this journey. If independence isn't for everybody right now, and it's not going to be in the majority, that's when we get into provincial constitutionalism. Now, hear me out, Albertans. If you do provincial constitutionalism, you settle claims, you get major lands awarded to all Albertans, which is a majority of this province is not yours, and you settle all the First Peoples, everyone's booming and bustling along. Every other Canadian, that's going to set a fire on them. Oh, look how much land's out in Alberta. Look, all these Albertans. It's like another run on land. Well, we want to. Me too, me too. They got civil rights. They got property rights. Oh, look, they're redoing their education. Oh, they have a whole healthcare system we don't have. Everyone's going to want that. It'll spread like wildfire. You talk about 7 out of 10.
But that's if we actually go independent.
No, that's if we do constitutionalism. Think what you can get just in provincial constitutionalism.
So,
look at it, everybody. That's a lot easier than independence.
So having an Alberta constitution is absolutely a solid step towards autonomy.
All of it. It should
autonomy,
bring,
right?
and independence,
and
all
independence.
of it. And
It's a fundamental building block, really.
It is. You have to. First step. And more than that, it also gives a chance to fix Canada for everybody.
Right on. So
it does.
Alberta can lead the show again. Because as soon as we have a solid constitution that acts as a safeguard against abuse at the federal level, which brings in other things, by the way, which we haven't brought up, things like the doctrine of the lesser magistrate and precedent setting. Time to wake up.
Oh yeah, I have lots of kids, everything. It sucks.
Anyway,
there's going to be another one in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought I dismissed it.
No, I know. I got 3 sets. Oh, yeah.
You've never heard of the snooze button.
No, well, I never usually need it.
All right. Well, as I was saying, once Alberta gets this in place, because I don't want to say if, I believe we will have one. Once it has it in place, once again, Alberta will be leading the nation in fundamental things, because the rest of the provinces, say Saskatchewan, they're going to say, wait a minute. Alberta now can actually try and block this sort of thing legally.
And also think of this, 35 acres for every man, woman, and child in Alberta. That's what you
35
get.
acres.
35 acres for
so that's
every
like
man,
almost like a
woman, and child.
quarter section. So
35 acres.
Well, 40 would be a quarter section.
Yeah. So it's close. Yeah. Just about that. But think about it. All of you and everyone you know, all your children. Think about that.
Yeah, I want to put this in perspective so people understand. 35 acres. I think the average lot is 1/5 of an acre. So that means you can fit 5 houses in 1 acre. And if the average Albertan had 35 acres, they could fit 35. That doesn't mean go subdivide right away.
It's also resources that we don't have now. Imagine having a provincial constitution setting the resources of those lands for all of you.
Yeah. There are so many reasons for Alberta standing up. You know, there was that graph that just came out from ATB that showed the wealthiest nations in the world, and ATB stuck Alberta, even though we're not a nation, but they stuck it in there. And lo and behold, we're in the top 10. We're just a hair below the US. Right?
All of Canada.
Just imagine where Alberta would be if we didn't get saddled with having to take care of the rest of Canada. I think we would jump up to where Norway was, which is number 3.
He brings up a good point. I gave a map of private property in Canada. Alberta has the most private property of the provinces besides Saskatchewan. And you can see the inverse relation between population, how much private property is available, and when you start looking at British Columbia, which there's hardly any, except for what Vancouver in British Columbia has forcibly taken of unceded land. Prices through the roof. You go to Ontario, this massive province, you find out the southern tip of the Needle, the GTA, and a few other sparse portions of the province in northern, it's less than 13% of the province is made available
privately
to them.
owned. 87% is still crown land.
Washed.
Yeah.
And if we did this in Alberta, and all of a sudden it's a boom for Albertans. All of a sudden, the rest of the Canadians are going, why is there so much land for all those Albertans? Why
there's a
are the
ton of
First
land in
Nations
northern
exploding?
Alberta. I know that for
Yeah.
sure. I don't know how developable.
All west. No. I can show you the map. Alberta is actually, it is one of the most settled for private property, almost. Not largely done in the 30s, but all of the
Mostly
west side of
central and
Alberta. Well, yeah, central and south, but on the east side.
Yeah.
On the west side, that's all completely unavailable.
Oh, interesting.
I know Sundre. You can go to Sundre, Alberta, where my family settled. That's as far as you go west. That's it of Alberta. That's all you get.
Huh.
And when you go up, there's a little bit when you look at the branch from Sylvan Lake. It's only those few communities, sparse farmland. You see a good chunk going into northern BC, to Dawson Creek, and that's it, guys.
We're gonna have
High
to
level
amend-
BC, hardly any.
We've been talking a lot about property rights today, and we're going to have to amend our little tags here because it's an important issue.
2/3, and I did do the property rights, so everybody listening, and I know on Vince's feed, everyone who knows about the Property Rights Commission, I was in there on my birthday, February 16th, live for the legislature. I hammered them all, I brought forward everything. Half of your UCP MLAs went with my idea. Unfortunately, guys, Jason Kenney said beat it. This isn't independence. It's not about racism. It was about doing something real for all the First Peoples, at least in Alberta, something real for all Albertans. And if we did this as a province, we could do the rest of Canada.
So you got half of the UCP MLAs on board. What was the essence? Number 2, right?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
only
you got-
one more. I have to get on my UNSC because it's probably on. But I went live. I presented real constitutionalism, absolutely property rights. I have more congressmen from the United States than Jason Kenney does. Absolutely Republicans. I brought forward every provincial constitution, the massive hundreds, some of them 150 pages in your water and property rights in their state constitutions. All brought forward real experts. I brought forward the names, the sponsors from the USA, and Jason still, not only live that day, but also on radio, meaning me versus Jason Kenney in March. And he cut me off, shut it down, acknowledged Richard Albert, but then right away, I don't want to have this debate. I will not give up my crown or the royalty of Her Majesty and UK's narrative for any Albertan. None of you filthy Albertans. That's how he feels. Sorry.
You wouldn't have said the word filthy, but there's a little bit of interpretation. But I understand
He's run all the convoy people down, calling you all crazy kooks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. All right.
What do we got here? We got Devin Zoller. How come, Dave, Trudeau so... Oh, no, we got that one. We did that one. All right.
there's another.
He did it twice?
I think it's scrolling right back to... Oh, there's Glenn Harder, too.
Okay, here we got one. Razik, oh boy, Kazareth. Do you know him?
Yep, absolutely.
If Alberta can lead the legal path to independent states and sovereignty, then you certainly have my vote. Oh, yes. Right on. Thank you, Razik. All right. We got another one here. Ian Backman. Can you tell these guys, Dave, what's going on in a few hours with the United Nations Security Council open debate, please?
That's happening actually right now as I'm doing this video. We do got to shut it down.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they're debating rules, and we've submitted from last year, Children's Day of Genocide and Armed Conflict. We're sponsored. Now they're debating those rules. Canada's got a flag on the play through the UK. I'm sure it's the UK. And we're challenging that. We're trying to fight for USA and Russia to come together, because they have First Peoples too, and impose a constitution on Canada federally and absolutely giving the division of powers. Because again, guys, whether you like it or not, both Russia and USA have federalism defined in Canada, just not incorporated in Canada. But it's been done in those two countries. They know exactly what's going on here. If we can get them together, everybody, this rules they're debating. If they sponsor the email I just sent, and after a year's work, and I'm hoping they do. If they don't, they don't. We're going to find out. But I have to get on that right now. If it happens,
See, the concern
it's
I
gonna
have
be
with
huge.
the UN is that you just said earlier that Canada kind of screwed the pooch in terms of representation, and yet we are still subject to the UN. And
the General Assembly concepts that get vetoed down, meaning just like a legislature or Parliament of Canada, right? MLAs or MPs can bring forward bills all the time. They do. And then they all talk about it, they debate it. Then it can go up to Senate, but at the end of the day, if it's shot down and voted down, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
That's the UN. General Assembly can come up with all kinds of crazy ideas. It's a country democratic ideas machine. And the problem is every time something gets shot down or vetoed by the Allies, Canada takes it out of the garbage can. And they say, hey, we're going to implement this in Canada. We don't care that it's been thrown away and vetoed by the Allies in World War II. That should sound alarm bells, guys. UNDRIP was shot down, vetoed. Compact Global Migrant Agreement shot down.
Yeah, you gotta
Agenda 2030 shot down. These aren't to be in power, but Canada takes them, tells you they're international law. They're not. Canada's just made them their own national law, pretending it's international law. Does that make sense, folks? You're being manipulated. It's not the UN. Like, it's your country accepting these concepts when they've been ruled no.
All right, I got one here from Eldon again.
Sure.
Here. Ambrose Ralph has called for Alberta to be the point of the spear, for our province to be the leading edge, for change in Canada, be it as an independent nation or within a strengthened confederation. Ambrose Ralph.
Yeah, Ambrose is awesome. I like Ambrose. I know him very well. He's a good guy.
That's it for my
I
side.
agree.
Now,
And I hope he's talking provincial constitutionalism, because all of these ideas everybody has unifies everybody with provincial constitutionalism. We can strengthen confederation, or if it doesn't work, when we do provincial constitutionalism, the federal government says, we're just going to hit you even harder, then go independent or go 51st state, or all of these other concepts people want to do.
Okay, I'm going to leave, we're going to wrap it up here,
Yeah.
but I want to ask Dave, you actually ran for premier, so I'm going to ask you, if you were premier, if you were a UCP leadership candidate and you were elected and you were now premier before the general election, and you could implement up to 3 things before the election, what would you do if you were that premier?
Constitutional conventions.
Number 1, Constitution. Okay.
That's the only thing you have to do, honestly.
Okay.
Because hear me out, folks. If you do
So
a
no
convention,
referendum on independence.
know why? Because every MLA, 87 of them, regardless of NDP or independent MLAs, all of them have to go back to work, because the power of the Crown Lieutenant Governor, defined in Section 38, that's B of the Constitution, very early on. It tells you that the Lieutenant Governor will not stamp any bills or acts until that convention's done.
Okay, well,
For all of you.
Okay, I'm back
That's
up the
all
truck
you
here for a
need.
moment. So you have your Constitution. Remember, I said 3 things. You have your Constitution. You were, at one point, the leader of Alberta Independence Party. You set it up. You had lots of candidates running. Are you telling me you would not have a referendum on independence?
As soon as all Albertans cemented a constitution,
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
But
So number 2 would
I
be
know,
a
but-
referendum on independence.
Yeah, sure.
I got
Okay.
your proviso with a solid constitution in place beforehand. Got that. Number 3 for you. Or is there anything? Those
There
are the
really
only.
isn't. And-
Those are the 2 biggies.
Honestly,
All right.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest here, though, Vince.
Yeah.
I think if people, you're going to all have to talk to Richard Albert. He did the most fantastic presentation. And if you look comparative law of every country in the world, talk about religious rights, we go through Poland, we can go through any nation in the world. You start comparing constitutionalism, you start to realize just how pathetic this country is, and not just that, and I'm sorry Albertans and all Canadians, but how very, very pathetic your province is. Because it's the slave master to the federal crown. They keep that provincial crown, and it's defined in land, provincial and federal crown land. Not Queen Elizabeth land, not UK land. It's your countries. And they want all the power, especially the premiers. They will accept the dictatorial style of Ottawa against all of you, lying, cheating, stealing from you, taxation without representation. They'll make fake policy and platform, give you 3 things you think you like, but then they have 185 that have nothing to do with anything you ever would have wanted. And it's sometimes the worst of nightmares.
Right.
And you do provincial constitutionalism. You may want independence, you may not. It's hard to say. We have to see how the federal system reacts. You might fix all of Canada just by doing provincial constitutionalism in Alberta. You might light a fire, and we might fix this confederation all of a sudden. We're stronger than the United States of America. And before people laugh at that, there's a tremendous amount of land here. There's a tremendous amount of resources in a very, very tiny population.
That was just borne out with that graph from the ATV.
Yeah.
That's an Alberta that's under the confines that we are now. Imagine an Alberta unleashed, right?
Exactly.
So I appreciate your point that we're all slaves right now. I get that.
Yeah.
But we have the capability to change that.
Yes.
Big time, right?
Yes.
So and we are coming up to a critical juncture right now in our own province. I personally think that it's dangerous to have so many parties. I think that what I've done is I've put my vote on a member of the UCP. You've got until August the 12th to do that. After August 12th, good luck to you. Remember that a membership has 250 times more influence than just showing up for the election next year. So we can change things. We can change things big time. I can talk about, we should do this another time. Ralph Klein, when he became the leader of the Progressive Conservatives, that came out of left field.
Yeah.
Right? He was not supposed to. He was the joke candidate.
He was.
Right? And then he just went and he appealed to the grassroots. People said, Ralph's my kind of guy. And showed up and got memberships like crazy. I believe the anointed one at that time was a woman by the name of Nancy Betkowski.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And she was going to be the first female premier and all of that, and everyone was all excited. And then out of the blue came Ralph. And what did Ralph do? He balanced the budget. Now I want to point out to all my Socred friends, he had to balance. We were under a ton of debt. Not because of the Socreds, but because of Getty and Lougheed. PCs were blowing
to the federal party. Do you know why? I'm just going to make this point, because I was a Social Credit Party guy too. And just so you all know, Peter Lougheed, who did balance budgets as the first PC premier, his parents were Socreds, okay? So, folks, Alberta's only ever done any good in other provinces when they had a party in power that did not have a federal attachment. Should they have done provincial constitutionalism? Probably. Did they know to? Probably not, because we had that transition out of the UK in 1952. But now, in 2022, with the internet education, there is no reason not to. There's no reason for any of you watching not to start researching constitutionalism. At the very least, read your Canadian Constitution. Learn the truth of what your country is, what's capable of being done. I build things, I make things easy. I don't need to be premier. I just need somebody of that caliber to take the truth forward for all of you.
Right on.
And I come with the best academics in the world. That's clear as day.
Yeah, we got to get Richard Albrecht on. I don't know how. I'll figure out a way. I don't know. I don't like doing
I know how to do
Zooms.
the split screen.
Can you do it?
Yeah, on Facebook.
On Facebook. Okay,
He
cool.
logs on
cool.
Facebook.
I'm learning,
we can do
guys.
it.
So
I did it
bear
with
with me.
Ukraine, guys. I had the greatest academic in Ukraine.
You had a split screen on Facebook?
Yeah, from
Facebook
Ukraine.
Live.
Facebook Live.
Right on.
From Ukraine. Oh,
All
sure.
right. That'd be
Nobody's
cool.
seen that. That's
okay,
real.
so let's try and get Richard on.
Let's do it.
And you guys get your questions ready. So
Yeah.
we really want to tax this guy's brain.
Yeah,
all
this
right?
guy is so sweet and so
right.
smart, man.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap it here. So
Sounds
you guys,
good.
now you had this important thing that I appreciate you taking the time to talk to my
Yeah.
guys about and gals. So we'll put a link to that
Sure.
in our description
Sure.
and that. So
Sounds good.
all right, thank you very much, everybody.
Bye,
It's
everybody.
been fun.
God bless you
Hi,
all.
Marjorie.
God bless you all. I enjoyed meeting. Well,
Marjorie's there. Sorry.
oh,
Marjorie.
Marjorie
Yeah, hi,
Hutchinson.
Marjorie.
Hi, Marjorie.
Yeah.
a lot of love coming from there. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. We're done for now. Bye bye. And